Hi there, my name's Daniel from Transcona Trailer Sales. I'm going to be walking you through your 2014 Winnebago Class A 33CS Sightseer motorhome. We are just going to start off the back of the unit. Do notice you do have an observation camera up there, and then just right below that, you do have your exhaust for your furnace. Whenever your furnace is running, it's going to be putting out hot air. Just be mindful of that. You got your license plate that just bolts on here. You got your ladder that goes up to your roof to get to your seals. And then you do have a 7-pin plug back here, as well as a 2-inch receiver. On this side of the unit, you got this door here. If you just turn that open, you do get access to your gas door. You can just open this whole thing up as well, and that's going to give you access to your generator. Inside this compartment here is going to be where you get access to your main power supply. This is technically a 50 amp trailer. This is a 50 amp trailer. Now, a lot of campsites won't have this, so we will include a 30 amp adapter, but just keep it in mind, whenever you are going down to 30 amps of power, you're not going to be able to run 2 air conditioners at once. You'll only be able to run 1 air conditioner. And this is your standard 30 amp plug-in here. Also inside this compartment, you get access to all your winterization stuff, as well as an exterior shower and a black tank flush. So whenever your sewer is connected and your black tank is open, you can connect a garden hose up to here, turn it on. That's just gonna flush out that tank, trying to take away as much odor and maybe get rid of those false monitor panel readings you're getting. Right up from there is just your winterization valve. So you got the hot water heater bypass mode because it is winterized currently. Turning that to the left would bring you down to normal, so it would be a normal operation. And then you do have your fresh tank valve. With it in normal operation, it's going to be technically under city water connection. And if you turned it down over to tank fill, it is just going to fill your fresh water tank. Then right below that is just how you would hook your garden hose up to the system, whether that be your fresh tank or the just city water. Turning this switch on in here, in this little compartment here, the water pump switch, hitting that will activate the water pump, but you do have a switch inside. And then you do have an auto level switch here as well, but again, you can access that auto level from inside the unit. Just moving forward, this is going to be your little sewer area. Just taking note of those ears there. Those are going to be the ears that hook up to your sewer outlet. And then you got your black tank waste and your gray tank waste. You're always going to want to empty your black tank waste first, as it's going to be your dirtiest water, and then you can follow behind that with the gray tank waste, because it's typically cleaner water filled from your sinks and your showers. And then just inside most of these compartments here is just going to be storage. But in this compartment, you do have this is where your inverter is located. Again, just more storage. And then in this compartment here, this does give you access to your propane tank. To turn it on, you are just going to turn this valve all the way open, and that's going to open up flow of propane to this unit. Just some more storage above that. At the front of the unit, you can't open up this little front hood latch. You are just having to pull this little release in the middle here, and then I will just give you access to some of your fluids and your air filter. If you were to need to access those and to close it, you are just pulling it down and push it into place so that it latches and stays locked. Inside these front compartments, again, for the most part, is just storage. This is going to be to take the chrome caps off your lug nuts. This little door here, if you open this up, does give you access to a propane quick connect. So if you were to want to get a little barbecue, you can get that quick connect set up. That way you don't have to carry around a tank with you. Behind this little door here is just your hot water heater service port. There's 2 screws holding this door in. You just take those out, this whole door will flip out and it'll give you access to what's inside there. In here, just some more storage as well as 2 household outlets. And then inside this compartment here is where you're gonna find your 20-foot water hose and your sewer hose, as well as a 15-amp park adapter in case you don't have 30 amps of power. But again, just keep in mind when you're going down to 15 amp power, you won't be able to run any air conditioning at all. To get inside the unit, you are just opening up that door. You do just have to make sure that these steps are on. Should open up. So let me double check that we are plugged in. So opening up that door just to get inside. You can step down inside. First thing you're gonna notice is right on your left, you do have a couple light switches for your compartment lights. You have your awning control as well as your awning light control. You do have a generator starting switch, which there is another one further inside. And then you do just have your disconnect switches right there. And then inside this cupboard, you do have a little breaker panel up here, as well as a breaker panel down below here. And then you just do have 2 light switches right here. You take a step on inside. To get these slide outs to run, you do have to turn the key on and have the parking brake on. So now that that's on, you'll be able to come to the back here. You have 2 more light switches right here. First, you are going to have to make sure that this key is in and it's on the on section, and then you unlock the slide outs, and then you do just press that button out, and that one slide out's going to start making its way out. Just taking note of the way we have that swivel chair inside that beside that couch in the slide out, and those 2 chairs are moved over. Whenever you are running the slide out in or out, you're going to have to make sure you set that up. That way you don't run the risk of ripping your floor or anything. You know that slide out's fully extended when you hit it clicks or the motor's cut out. There you go. And then we do just have another slide out behind us. Then you just have one last third and final slide out in the bedroom. Again, just hitting that slide out until it's fully extended. Then again, now that you have those slide outs out and you can come to the front here, and you do have your leveling system. So you do have to have the key on and the parking brake on as well for this to work, but you just hit that button, it's going to turn on. At this point, you can either manually level it or you can just hit auto level. The unit's going to automatically level itself. And then just to retract it, again with the key on and the parking brake on, you can hit that retract button and all the jacks, if you hit and hold it, all the jacks are going to retract. Now that we are done that, you can turn that off. Turn the key off. At the front of the unit, you do notice you have a brake controller down on your left. And then you do have some shades you can actually lower This one is called a solar shade. And then you do actually have a full shade as well. And the switches for that are just on the left here. And then you do have a battery boost button. In case your battery were to die on your coach, you can use your house batteries to boost it. To get this rear camera working, you do just have to plug it into the cigarette lighter, and it comes and lights right up. For the stereo, we have it currently running off the house batteries, but just hitting that button up will switch it over to the coach battery, and it'll run off coach power if you don't have your house batteries connected. And then you can have the two different heat options. You can have coach heat. For the coach heat, you can have high or low. And then you do have two fans right up on the front dash there. And these switches just turn it on. Clicking it once up will bring it to a low fan, and you hitting it all the way up will bring it to a high fan. And then you also have mirror heat just on your left here. Hitting that on, switch turns that on. Up in this cupboard, if you open this side up here, you do get access to a plug-in, an HDMI port, as well as your satellite receiver connections. And then you do have your main satellite center right here. To turn it on, you just hit that button, and then you do have all your different options there. You have a smoke detector right above your head here. In this little area here, you do have two light switches. Turning those on turns on the lights. And then to bring the TV up, you just have to hit that button up, and the TV automatically starts making its way up. There you go, that TV is up and fully extended now. I forgot to show you that the passenger chair on this unit is a swivel chair, so if you're sitting in it, you can, with it adjusted properly, because it has to clear the wall. So you gotta move it up, and you can just pull this switch on the left-hand side, and it will allow you to swivel it right around if you were to want to have it like that. And then you can just swivel it right over. And then you do have this nice little laptop tray, sliding tray, or if you have to do some paperwork, you can slide that closer to you. And you do have a little 12-volt cigarette lighter plug-in on this side as well. Right here is just one of the main GFI plugs. So you do have reset in the middle, test on the bottom. If you do ever have an outlet that doesn't work, that would be the first place I would check. That green light is just telling you have a successful connection. In the kitchen area, you have a sink with hot and cold water. You do have a microwave. That's going to be just like home. Not much I'm going to show you there. And then you do have your stove. The way that works is you do just fold that up. That folds down. And then you just have to turn these knobs over the light. Hit it with the sparker. And it fires right on up. Whenever you are bringing this tray down, you do have to actually pull it up and then fold it down, because if you try to do it without doing that, it's locked into place, so that way it doesn't fall down while you're cooking. You have your Norcold fridge and freezer. As well, this unit does as well have an ice maker. The way this works is pretty simple. You just hit that button on, and it's just going to tell you here what it's running on. So it's currently on automatic, so it's always going to go for AC power first. If AC power is taken away, it'll switch over to gas, or you can manually change what you want it to run it on. So you can have it always running on AC, or you can always have it running on liquid propane, or just have it on automatic. That way it just runs off of whatever, and then you just have your temperature setting button. So it goes 9 through 1, 9 being the coldest setting, and then just hitting that button off will turn it off. In the bathroom area, you You have your light switch just on your right there. You have your sink with hot and cold water, your toilet, as well as your little splasher. You also have another GFI plug, main GFI plug in here as well. So that's going to be for part of the system. And then you do just have this little sprayer nozzle there. So you do have 2 ACs in this unit. Keeping in mind, you're only going to be able to run both at the same time if you're on 50 amps of power. This AC is going to control your heater and your front AC. And this panel here is just going to control this air conditioner in the back bedroom. The controls for this are pretty simple. You got your temperature buttons going up and down. And then you do just have your fan options. So if you're running on auto, it's going to become an on-demand system. So it'll kick on and off as needed, depending on what the temperature is in the unit. Or you can have it running on full time. And then you do have high and low, depending on what you want. And then in the middle, with this button in the middle, it is just off. Selecting it to the left would turn on the air conditioner, and selecting it to the right would turn on the heat. Let's say you just wanted to move air around with no cooling or heating involved. You can just turn that from auto to on, and it's going to automatically run that fan. And you can just switch between the two settings. And then you do have your main control system here. So you have your generator, so that you got that stop button, you got the start button. If you hold that start button, the generator does just fire right on up. Hitting that stop button is going to turn it off. And then you do have your water pump button right here. So if you turn that on, it's going to turn your water pump on. And then you can fire up your water heater on either electric or liquid propane. If you turn it on liquid propane, it does take a second to light. It's going to try and light itself 3 times. If on the third try it doesn't light, you just have to turn this switch off, wait a few seconds, and then try turning it back on, and it'll try relighting itself. And then you do just have your levels here. So if you hit that, it's going to tell you what all your tanks are at, including your liquid propane tank. And if you hit that battery button, it is just going to tell you your chassis battery voltage and your house battery voltage. And then right below here is just your inverter controller. And this is going to be what you use to turn it on. You turn that button on. It's going to tell you what your battery is currently at. If you hit this button, you're going to first go to 50 amp service. Holding this button will then activate it all, and you'll be able to pretty much run anything. And then you do have your you can give the inverter specific jobs. So you can have it running just your water heater. You can have it running just your refrigerator, your rear AC, and your front AC. And it just holding it again just turns that off. And eventually this will just turn itself off. In the back bedroom, you do have your light switches. You can also turn off the hall light from in here as well. You got your TV. You also have some coax plugins here, as well as a satellite receiver connection. Some storage underneath. I'll mention that inside this cupboard here, you do have a washer. There is no dryer, but you do have a washer. And then just inside the bedroom here, you have your bed. You got light switches on either side of the bed, and you do have some storage inside here as well. That's going to be it for this unit here. If you have any other questions, feel free to give us a call.